AGM.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Midas Letter Live. We got our old friend Special Ed here, and we got another guy over in the chair here.
Special Ed's got a broken back now.
You got a broken back.
Yeah.
How'd you do that?
You did it.
I did it? I didn't even know my own strength.
You've been carrying him too long.
So we got a guy over here. His name's Dr. Francis Dube, CEO, Director, and Head of Business Development and Technology for Zenyatta Ventures Ltd, trading on the TSXV under the symbol ZEN. Yes, I said Z, even though I'm Canadian.
Zen.
Zen.
So
it is Friday afternoon, people.
It is. Where's the wine?
Yeah.
What do you got in the cup there, Ed?
Coffee.
Francis, so tell me about all these great things that are happening in Zenyatta. I understand there's a name change. You got a different direction going. You sort of.
This is a world-class deposit too. This is a very unique.
We got decades worth of product in the ground.
Just decades.
At least.
It's big. No, I remember going to the presentation years ago.
Yeah.
And this fellow was there, and I met him for years ago, like 20 years.
This fellow?
No. The guy I was trying to remember if we worked at TD. Anyway, he said to me,
Craig. Sorry, keep going.
He said this was one of the great deposits of this kind in the world.
Yeah.
And there was a geological event.
Dr. Conley might be one of the guys. He's been one of the researchers with us, working with us from the beginning.
So eventually, it's like someone's going to take this out.
Put it into production.
Do something with it.
Drill holes in it.
It's too big. It's
Dig
too
up
big a
the-
deposit.
So our goal right now, one of our goals is to actually take a very large bulk sample. We've applied for 990 tons. If you cross the line of 1,000 tons, then you actually fall into mining, and a lot of things come with that. So we're trying to avoid that. But yeah, our goal, and we're trying to get this done with a winter road, keep it economic, and do that from January to March, April this year.
Does it apply with all commodities, the 1,000-ton rule?
Yeah, anytime you're going to do a bulk sample, that's the Mining Act. So yeah, that applies across the board.
So is that a daily thing?
No, that's a once a project lifetime, basically. If you do it a second time, then you're into mining.
Oh, okay.
You need an EA. You need a.
What kind of grades are we talking here?
We have two pipes. The east pipe's a much higher pipe. We're probably about 4.5% to 5% there, and about 2.5% on the west pipe.
Okay, so this is a vein-hosted deposit.
It's not. We call it vein graphite. That's a nomenclature from Sri Lanka. This is really a volcanic deposit, fluid-derived graphite. There's nothing on Earth like it. It's created it was a flash.
Are you a geo?
I'm not. I've just been around geos enough for a long time.
But you're a doctor?
Yeah, optometrist. So. Nothing to do with this business.
You know what? I got a stigma here. No, James, that's good.
Let's see. You got an eyeball in there.
I think we should have a little session here.
An optometry session?
Yeah, just you know what? Two birds with one stone. That's what I say.
Try your glasses on. Because then I'll need glasses.
You'll need glasses.
No.
Pow!
You're not gonna.
Okay.
All right. Let me just do this part quickly. There'll be our. Graphite is very unique. Our average size is about 15 microns. Most flake graphites, we're talking about 200, 300, 1,000 microns flake. So extremely unique, very different from your typical sedimentary flake graphite. So there is nothing on Earth like it.
Okay, so what is the advantage of having this type of graphite over flake graphite?
Well, the high value now is graphene. The graphene market is a very high value, very high growth industry right now, and we are able to produce graphene, very high-end graphene. With our average was about 2.4 layers. A lot of people that call their product graphene, it's actually not graphene. It's it's multiple layers, but the graphene's a buzzword, so they use it. But high-end graphene is there's not a lot of it on the market right now. So we're coming in very hard with a lot of supply behind us.
Okay, and there's a conference coming up that you're going to be at.
Yeah, the Graphene Expo is in Austin, October 15th to 17th. It's a world event. It's the premier event worldwide. It's attracting everybody around the world that's interested in graphene. So we've actually been picked to do 4 presentations over there. We're going to do a major presentation, 20 minutes, and then we've been picked to do 3 product pitches, one on concrete, one on jet fuel and diesel, and one on quantum dots.
Okay, well, so the path to actually starting production of
graphene for these applications. What's the timeline looking like on that?
So again, we're going to do this very large bulk sample. We're hoping to yield about 40 tons of graphite, high purity graphite, 99.8% graphite with that, and then another 6 months to process that into graphene. So probably by the fourth quarter 2019, we might actually be able to have some product for sale by that point.
Do you know how much graphene you have here? Like, we
have a 1.4 million ton resource right now. That's open at depth. Our PEA back in 2015 gave us a 22-year mine life at 30,000 tons per year, and we were using less than 50% of our resource.
And what was the price back then versus now?
Well, back then we were going after the traditional graphene or graphite market, your lib batteries, your fuel cells, your powdered metallurgy. We were averaging sales of about $7,500 per ton. The graphene markets, we're talking many multiples of that number.
Right. And what about your bank account? How is your cash looking?
We took over as May 11th. We had a proxy battle. We won that proxy battle very, very comfortably, and now it's basically a rebirth of the company. That's why we're doing the rename. We're going with Zen Graphene Solutions. We're able to provide.
I like the name. Anything with Zen in it, you gotta like Zen.
Me too.
I know, we're kind of Zen guys. Okay, so name change and
new look, new logo,
who's your biggest
new
shareholder?
website.
Who's your biggest shareholder?
Biggest shareholder is actually still our ex-CEO and president, Aubrey Evely, but we've got a lot of interest and a lot of other major shareholders as well. So we've got a pretty wide base of shares. Last count was about 4.6 million shares.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And you're saying there's about 50 million shares now?
64.
That's not bad.
No.
And institutional support in this shareholding?
Honestly, very little.
Really?
Again,
it's just a big retail crowd waiting for something to happen.
Absolutely. That's why we wanted to make some changes and bring a new direction to the company, and we feel very excited about what's going on in the graphene space right now.
Very cool. Okay. Price of graphene now globally?
You look at some of the websites for some of the high-end graphene, we're talking about $200 per gram, which is
per gram. It's like cocaine.
Pretty much.
Gold.
Expensive cocaine.
More gold.
Yeah.
There's one reference out there from a company out of Australia called First Graphene. They had a reference for $1 a gram when you buy 100 kilograms or more. So that's kind of the only reference for bulk pricing. So again, graphene is moving so fast that there's no spot price for this right now. So that's one of the.
Would somebody that would want to buy you, would they be from? Would a Chinese company want to buy this company, or?
You know what, potentially, but I'll tell you what, not only is this graphene, not only can we generate a lot of jobs and a lot of revenue for our own shareholder base, graphene can help industries be better. So we can actually help other Canadian companies have a leg up in their industry because of our product. So our goal is really to try to work with Canadian companies and try to strengthen them.
So Ceylon's traditionally a big graphite
producer.
Yep. And they actually get their graphite, I believe, from Sri Lanka, which is the only other deposit.
Well, I think Ceylon used to be called Ceylon.
Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Used to be Constantinople, now it's Istanbul. One of those situations.
What about Canada? What did Canada used to be called? Sasquatch?
No, I don't know.
Fascinating.
Okay, so great. So then you don't need any money right now?
We do.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, we did a small placement.
Got your checkbook with you, Edward?
No, left it at home.
Sure, that's what he always says. So you're doing a small placement, and what's that to accomplish?
Well, we want to redo the PA. There's a lot of value in redoing the PA right now. We did our metallurgy. We increased our recovery from 75 to 90%. That's a big jump. We did it with less energy, and we did it with less reagent costs. So there's a good increase in the value of our project based on just the metallurgy. We're actually going to study doing a smaller scale production, going underground mining instead of open pit. We have a 40 to 50 meters of overburden. The original PEA didn't really assess going underground. with the amount of overburden, it's very costly to do an open pit.
Right.
So we can do this as a smaller footprint, better environmentally, and we can start with a much smaller production level, which will reduce our capex.
Okay, well, it sounds great, Francis. We'll leave it there for now and have you back when you've got some more updates for us. That's great. Thanks for joining us.
Sounds great. Thank you for having us.
Francis, thanks a lot. Pleasure.
My pleasure. Thank you, James.
Thank you. Roll the music, boys. Roll the music, boys. Wow, that was fascinating, eh?
I'm always extremely amazed by these geological occurrences. They only happen, you know, like there was an island that they had that was all iron ore a few, maybe 10, 15 years ago. BIM was the name of the company. But sometimes you get these events, and when you go to them, you say, well, how rare is this thing geologically? And I think this deposit is one of the world's great graphite deposits.
No, that's funny. That's exactly what others have said about it. So,
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't.
You're not alone, Ed, in that kind of company.
Well, that's kind of flattering.
Now you're thinking maybe I'm going to
Maybe
write
I
a
should
check.
be. You know what? Maybe I should be called Graphite Man.
Huh.
Oh yeah.
Let's take a look at our stocks today.
Well, why don't I just?
Get rid of that.
Jeez.
Here's Ed tickling with his phone. Don't mind us. We're
Yeah,
just a little
just,
disorganized today. Little Friday action. All right, so let's see what do we got here in the old cannabis world. Is it still blood in the streets?
Well,
Ed?
you know, I don't. No, I think it's gotten a little quieter. Tilray, there's your big one in the U.S. up 7. Some of the real flying high flyers, Alifia, you know, kind of quiet. I probably running it again, but
Ed, the market's up. The large caps are up 2.54%.
yeah, like I said, things are moving up.
Thank God for that. Look, it's a green day all around.
Green Day, and yesterday was what?
Red day.
Oh, so I should have red
Yeah.
and green.
Yeah, there's Peter Cunningham. Put him on. Let's get Peter. Here we have Peter Cunningham on the show talking to us from London.
You're on the show. It's live.
You're
with
on
Peter
the
Cunningham
outside.
from London, England.
Give it on speakerphone, won't you, Ed?
You there?
He's gone.
I think he heard that he was live, and that was,
That's it. I'm
That's
out of
it.
here. I don't want to be on your stupid show.
You're live.
You should be watching. Then you'd know that you were on the show, and
Yeah.
you'd know better than to call us.
Yeah.
Boy,
These people.
these people think we got nothing better to do than just sit on our duffs.
They don't believe me that I'm on a show every day because they keep calling me now.
Well, it's kind of hard to believe myself. I don't believe it.
Yeah,
either.
I don't even believe I'm on the show.
Look at Marican changed its name and its symbol, but it's still showing the old name Marican Group. The new name is Wayland Group, which apparently has some significance to Europeans. And I don't know what that is, but you know, they're down below $1.94. Our friends at Follow the Money Group have suggested that there's a lot of good news coming, and that this is a good price for us to maybe buy some Marican, Ed. What do you think? 314. We got 45 minutes to buy, sell, buy.
Sell. These fast markets, these volatile markets, what I would call big alpha, high alpha, or big beta, alpha beta.
Beta or alpha?
Yeah.
Look, there's us watching them, watching us, watching you.
Yeah. So, you know what, like, it really what it does is it takes people just want to get in and get out. That's the kind of market we're in. So,
Right.
you said to me,
Get in and get
hey,
out.
here's a deal. Maybe you put some money in here and maybe you'll double your money in a year. And I think, well, why would I do that when I could double my money in a day?
Ooh, can you do that?
No. No, but anyway.
I've seen you double your money in a day before.
Yeah,
Ed.
well, I've taken $1 and bet somebody $1 and I've won and I've doubled my money.
Well, you know what Mark Twain said, if you want to double your money, you take your money out of your pocket, you fold it in half, and you put it back. And
Yeah,
that's
there you
doubling
go.
your money.
There you
And
go.
Took me, that's one of those jokes. It took me years to figure out what the hell, where's the punchline in that? Oh, take the money out, fold it in half. Old school term for doubling your money, right. Got it. Anyways, what do you think of my new shirt?
Is that one of those Etros?
It sure is.
Yeah, I can't see that one being worth 10 grand.
No, it's not worth 10 grand.
Well,
Come on. Well, some of those ones that our friend brought over supposedly are worth 10 grand.
Golden Ridge. Golden Ridge. Ba, ba, ba.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. Did you buy any of that?
Yeah.
I got in at 19 cents.
You bid better than me.
Yeah, not bad, eh? I could sell it today for a tidy little profit.
Tidy little profit.
Tidy little profit. Uh-oh, it's our new
ZS.
hosts.
Don't
look now.
These guys look like
Gangsters.
whew, they've been around.
Yeah.
These
this
guys
is
look
trouble.
street smart.
Yeah.
These guys, hey, I don't
look-
think we want to sell them any paper.
No, I think they're going to sell
I
us
think
some
they'll be
paper.
selling us some paper.
Look, they both got headphones on and earphones.
Cheapers, creepers,
Where's this-
high-tech guys, too.
Yeah, look at those guys. So
What do we
those
got
guys
on?
are our new hosts, Suzanne. They're having their own show now.
Cheapers.
Look at
Hosts opposite.
Taylor Swift.
just to listen. See, they're talking about music. They don't know that their show's about stocks.
Just sing and dance.
So yeah, what do you think, Ed? Let's go back to our charts here. So
Yeah.
we'll try you guys on at. Whoa, hey, that guy's just blowing smoke out of his nose.
Yeah.
What's going on there?
Up somewhere.
What kind of? Well, I was gonna. That was what we call low-hanging comic fruit, Zach. We don't go there. Anyways, yeah, these guys are going to have their own show if they can keep it together for 20 minutes.
Let's hope that we don't get supplanted.
Supplanted? We don't have to worry about that nonsense, Ed. We own this joint.
Because we're in farming?
Well, we're in. What are we in? We're in the business of talking. So talk, damn it, talk. Okay, everybody's wondering what the hell is going on with the show. We're gonna talk to our audience here a bit. Dan S. Ed is really growing on me, especially when he has made money and is happy. Laugh out loud. Ed for president. You have a fan in Dan S. Ed. You have your own fans on here. Do you know that?
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Lou.
How come you never
that
tell
shirt-
me?
Mr. Lou 1990 says, "Whoa, that shirt is groovy."
Ruby.
Groovy.
Oh, groovy.
Groovy.
You said Ruby.
Ruby. It's groovy, Ed.
It's groovy. All right.
Let's see. Gopa 32. Juju is going to make us too rich. Not wealthy, but rich. Now, I tend to share that sentiment. One could certainly hope so. Bob McCown, how's about that Juju? Yeah, so Juju's back up to 27.5, 28. Out of the danger zone. They're accelerating the warrants.
Yeah. How much money are they going to get from that?
You know, I actually haven't had a chance to read that press release, Ed.
Look at Royal Nickel up 9 cents.
Look at that, eh? Wow, we're making money left, right, and center today.
You own a little of that one?
I bought 100,000 shares yesterday at 77 cents.
Sounds like a dozen, right? Sitting there waiting for you to take.
Yeah.
Cheaper by the dozen.
Cheaper by the dozen. But,
Let's put up some charts. Let's look
you
at...
want to talk some charts, do you? All right.
Let's look at... Let's revisit High Hampton here.
Okay.
High Hampton, it looked like it was going to make a move, and I think it pulled back to the 56, 57. But I still like the pattern there. I think it looks like a basing pattern, and I think it's about to break out.
All right. Well, let's take a look at the chart here. What do we got? Look at that brand new laser beam looking thing that has our logo on it. That's amazing. So here's the chart, Ed.
Yeah.
3-month chart. You want a bigger one?
No, that looks good.
That
looks. I like it. I just look at if it breaks 45, say
Yeah.
previous lows.
Yeah.
You know, I probably
Traded
say-
down to 49 today.
It did.
Yeah. I bought actually, I think I own some of this, but I'm looking at the
I don't think
price.
it traded 49, did it?
It says the low. Oh, wait. Oh, I had my
Yeah.
mouse on the wrong ticker. No,
Low
no,
53.
no.
Okay.
I see.
Yeah,
Low.
no, it looks good in there, and it'd be nice to see this thing. You'd want to own it if it broke 65, 66. This thing starts to go up. I think it could move to 85, 90 very quickly.
What if it starts to go down?
Sayonara.
Sayonara.
Adieu.
Sayonara.
Adieu.
Oh, that's funny.
Chiron
Sayonara.
Life, $1.84. Afria. They're up. Most of them are up today.
Yeah, look. So you notice we got Chiron fixed on the ticker finally? Had to call up folks at Quote Media and say, look here, bros, your ticker's all screwed up down there.
Did you do them all?
Well, we still got a couple like this Blue Ocean NU. We don't know what that is, but we know it's one of our symbols because it's on the ticker list.
Golden Ridge, I noticed. Yeah, to your point, used to be something else. Now it's Golden Ridge goes by.
Golden Ridge.
Go.
Wah, 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 ooh. Yeah, I see where you're going with that.
Look at Riv, up 2 cents.
Let's take a look at the rivers on the chart, shall we?
Hey, so my friend,
5 days.
Your namesake, Eric West.
Oh yeah, Eric.
He said there's a deal that's coming out here. Halo. Have you heard of
Halo? Yeah, Scott Patterson's thing. It used to be Apogee.
No.
Yeah.
And there's a guy behind it. His name is. I gotta be careful.
I don't know anybody else involved. Yeah.
Well, I heard there's a very big guy involved, and he put $8 million.
Big like as in tall, fat.
Big as in deep P. DP.
Deep pockets. Ooh, how deep? Very deep?
Well, I hear
like
you.
Mariana's Trench deep?
Yeah.
Deep.
That's deep.
Deep.
That's as deep as it gets.
Deep, 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 deep.
So that, when I saw the Apogee thing, I said, no, it couldn't be.
That sucker's reared its ugly head again. Actually, yeah, that's been a silver company. It's been a number of things. But hey, how many mining companies does it take to make one cannabis industry? None. None. That's the answer. That's the punchline, Ed. You with us here?
I'm trying. I want to read to you what this guy says. He thinks this thing's going to be $1.50.
What thing? Halo? Let's pull up the chart on
Halo. No, I don't want to investigate. By the way, Halo Labs is listed on the NEO next week.
Oh, it's on the NEO. The NEO. Oh, that'll be interesting.
Yeah, deal done at 50 cents. Probably opens around 60, 70. There's intrinsic value to $1.50.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know.
Where are you getting your intelligence there,
gentleman,
Edward?
this friend of mine, I'm not going to mention any names just yet.
What's going on with copper, Ed?
Copper holding 280.
280.
Yeah, 280. Yesterday's 270. Yeah,
Not doing much for Crown Mining, is it?
No, but you know what?
Right. Let's look at weed. What do you think of weed today, Ed?
Just, I think I can say this.
Okay. Speak.
There's a site visit.
Site visit?
Somebody signed an NDA and they're going to go to the property soon. And
whose property?
Crown.
Crown Mining's.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, and these.
We're going to drill some holes in that, maybe?
You know what?
Let's raise some money and punch some holes in the old cheese, eh? See what we got. Bunch of more copper.
I heard of cut the cheese. Never heard of punch some cheese.
Punch the cheese? Punch the cheese is a new saying. It's a new phrase that I've just made up.
Yeah.
Meaning drill some holes.
If you're a mouse, you want to punch some cheese.
Well, I don't think you want to punch it. I think you want to eat it.
Yeah.
Actually, I think that's an old wives' tale. I don't think mice actually like cheese.
Oh, they love cheese.
They do?
Yeah.
How do you know? How would you know, Ed? What, have you watched?
I used to be a mouse.
You know, that's actually not hard to believe.
Mighty Mouse.
Mighty Mouse. More mouse than you would expect. Anyways, You know what? We're going to roll our friend Keith Merker now, who we had an interview with last week, but we didn't get to screen it all.
I interviewed him.
You interviewed him, and then we're going to introduce two new talents on the street.
Yeah.
And what are you guys calling your show? Oh, they're on the phone.
They're on.
That's what we'll call their show. They're on the phone show.
On the phone show.
On the phone show. Okay, so here is Keith Merker with WeedMD.
Here we are, and today we got an old friend joining me, Keith Merker, WeedMD, couple of locations, Elmer and Strathroy, and we've had some fun together. We've had a great sushi dinner, and we also got on the wrong train together, which was amazing because I was telling you about this lady that got on the train with me to London. And she was going to Ottawa, and then we proceeded to get on a train going to Ottawa. And if I wouldn't have heard all the people talking French. Anyway, it's great to see you, Keith.
It's truly a treat, Ed. I wasn't expecting to see you today, so that's awesome.
Yeah.
In my defense, I was a train rookie at the time. I think it was my second time on the train, which is a wonderful experience living in London, Ontario.
Yeah. Now, do you train quite a bit now?
I do.
It's a great way to travel.
It is.
You know what? No, you can work.
Get a ton of work done.
Yeah,
Got Wi-Fi.
No stress.
Get fed. No stress.
Yeah.
It can take you an hour to get from Queen Street to the Gardner. So
you know what? Yeah, and if you're driving. And I just got a rail pass, which gives me 20 one-way trips in a 30-day period, and it's very reasonable. Like it's $35 a shot.
I feel like this is becoming a Via Rail commercial.
Okay, let's move on here. So WeedMD, when I met you, the company was private. You guys had this vision. We were eating sushi, drinking copious amounts of sake, having a laugh, and wow. I think you had 10 employees, 12 employees, and now you have...
And we just embarked on, I think at that point in time, a $30 million valuation raise. Yeah. And now we're sitting at $250 million with 120 employees. At that time, we had about 10.
120. And how much cash do you have now? How much cash?
We've got over $40 million in the bank.
Nice.
So well-funded. We've got a mortgageable property at the Strathroy location, so we have access to further non-dilutive capital there.
Okay.
So to your point, two facilities up and running.
Yeah.
Elmer going great guns.
Now you just completed your first harvest.
We did.
Now tell me about that.
So this is, to be specific, our first harvest at the expansion site. So our second site in Strathroy, which I'm going to argue here on live television, that we turned it around probably quicker than anyone has done so in this industry to the scale and capacity that we have currently online and will have online by end of year.
You guys strike me as operators. You guys strike me as, We're
not fooling around.
Yeah,
we're not fooling
where the rubber meets the road.
That's right. So again, this facility in Strathroy, 14 acres of greenhouse, 98-acre property. The folks at Perfect Pick Farms, who we've taken over the farm from, were growing tomatoes in the space that now houses cannabis back in December. So we flipped it. We started working in January in earnest. We got licensed in June, and our first harvest came down 2 weeks ago. And there's further harvests coming down, I think, this week.
Just for the, how many harvests can you do in a year?
So right now we have 44,000 square feet licensed, or 1 acre of licensed space at this site. We've got 4 grow rooms in operation now. One's a mom room. 3 of them are now flowering rooms. 2 of them are 10,000 square feet. The third that's flowering currently is 5,000 square feet. We brought down the 10,000 square feet flower room 1. The second one's coming on shortly. We have 6 rooms that are now awaiting regulatory approvals. It's another 60,000 square feet that'll be online hopefully within the next month. Health Canada, with Health Canada's blessing. And then beyond that, there's another 400,000 square feet that we're working on in earnest to have online by end of year.
And what's the, like, how many employees do you have in Strathroy?
So again, the total is about 120 now. It's tough to keep track because there's new people coming on every day. And that will likely double by end of year as we get towards this more fulsome operation in Strathroy. Currently, there's I would guess there's somewhere between 20 and 30 employees there. So expanding dramatically. Lots of cash in the bank. You got some assets that are unencumbered. That's right.
And so you're sitting, and you're a financial guy, right?
Originally I am.
And so now you got a bunch of supply agreements. Let's talk about that.
So we've announced supply agreements with British Columbia, Alberta, Nova Scotia, and most recently, of course, Ontario. The funny thing about Ontario is that we weren't on the first list of licensed producers that they presented to.
So there's a protocol. There's
a process, and we just wanted to make sure that we cut the right deal with the OCS for WeedMD. And so it took a little bit longer to get there, but I think that in doing so, we did the right thing for the company and our shareholders over the long term. So, we missed that first announcement and all the hoopla that went with that, but
hey,
all good.
You were valued at whatever you were when we met. Probably close to 2 years ago, and now you got a $250 million.
That's right.
Operation.
And before we carry on sorry to cut you off, Ed, but the other supply agreement that might be as critical or more critical than any of the others is, of course, Shoppers Drug Mart. So in the medical stream, we're one of 6 licensed producers that has this agreement with Shoppers. And
so are you recreational, medical? You're both, and
we're both. We're a big producer. We'll have one of the biggest production platforms online and operating by end of year, and all of that product is not just going to solely, satisfy, we'll have more product than is required to satisfy our current medical needs.
Let's just remind everyone, the viewers, that the ticker here is WMD.
Correct.
WeedMD.
You got it.
Yeah, okay. So you're scaling for growth. Everything's seems to be going the right way. What was the high on the stock? Was it about 320? Did it get to 320?
Yep. That was last January.
And then it pulled back dramatically with everything else and got back to what, about $1.40, $1.50?
I think that's fair to say.
And
the low might have been a little bit lower than that.
I think I saw it 230, 235. Is that where we're at?
That's the neighborhood we're in today.
Yeah, and obviously a lot of people are focused on what's going on with Tilray, and that's a crazy story.
It is, but I'm going to just tell you now that WeedMD is the best story that a lot of folks out there haven't yet heard about. The best kept secret on Bay Street.
And then you just told me back in the green room that you're now. Can I say that you're going to open an office here in Toronto?
Yeah, we are. We have a bigger Toronto contingent and a growing one.
Yeah.
And
sure.
so
you want to be close to the sort of Bay Street and the financial community.
In a perfect world, yes. Yeah. So we're currently seeking real estate. We'll house some finance here, some marketing, some sales, and some other functions. But yeah, I mean, it's critical to be here, have the presence here, lots of talent to pick from, and lots of great people that we've brought on board.
Wow.
Yeah, that's been one of the key focuses over the summer for WeedMD has been to build out the management team. We've got a number of hires that will be announced shortly that are.
So what is how big is the management team, like in terms of the key management team? Are you're looking at 20 people now or something like that?
No, not quite that. We've always ran pretty lean.
Well, that's
at the
good.
top. I mean, to your earlier
shareholders' money, right?
We're operators, and we've kept the SG&A quite low, and we've done things, I think right and responsible from a financial standpoint. Sure. So we haven't got any bloated management team.
Okay.
We are working on building that out now because it's critical as we go forward and start to build on this great production platform and bolt on all the critical pieces that will build a global cannabis business to that point. I mean, just recently we announced the first sale of genetics to Australia from WeedMD.
Yeah. So talk about that for a minute.
Yeah.
So what do you're sharing your technology? How does that?
Well, so there's a couple of points to make there. Number one is that WeedMD is pretty unique in the space in that we have a thriving genetics business where we sell seeds and clones and live plants to other licensed producers in the Canadian market. And that's been something, it's an opportunity for any licensed producer, really, if you've got the genetics. But WeedMD decided to view that as a real big opportunity for our company because we have a very broad genetics library at WeedMD. So in doing so, we've created a nice business. We've made a lot of great relationships.
Have you created that genetics library yourself?
That came through. Originally it was an MMAR, the earlier program in Canada, genetics bank, that came along with one of the founders of WeedMD.
Okay.
So what we've done there that's really neat is we've taken that genetics business and now we've made it international. So this is something that wasn't easy to accomplish. I can tell you, that getting the import-export and all the paperwork and bureaucracy that goes behind this thing to export, some seeds, is quite an experience. But now that we've done it, we've opened the door to further international deals, and we've got a bunch in the hopper, and very excited about that expansion of that critical part of our business. Beyond that, we've got some other great international deals in the works, I'll say. So again, I would say stay tuned for more information. On that front.
Now, Michael Kraft is your chairman.
He is.
And Michael and I go back.
I do.
And we've had a lot of fun together. And he's a very bright guy, and he's certainly well-read, and I'd say very high IQ. And I remember him telling me about his vision, and he's been dead on. I mean, the industry. I think I told you, I had no idea 2 years ago that it was going to be what it is today, but hey, to your credit, good for you.
Yeah, well, not just myself, obviously. I mean, Mike is one of the founders of the company, and he's been a critical component to our success today. I'm sure
he's made some great introductions.
Beyond that, he's a great deal maker. He's a great mentor in a lot of ways, and critical piece of how we got here today.
We're gonna leave it there, Keith, and listen, you know what? So glad to see you again, and we got to go out. I will say this, I haven't had a drink in 13 days.
Good for you.
So I'm on the wagon, a bit on the wagon.
Okay.
So, but I'd love to have a beer with you sometime when that time comes.
And hopefully going the right direction on the train.
Hey, look. Keith,
good seeing you.
Really nice to see you.
Thank you.
You got a great smile and you're a very sincere guy.
Thank you.
Anyway, folks, WeedMD, WMD.
You got it.
It's a winner.
There we go.
Hey everybody, it's David Stadnyk here.
Dave, that's my dad.
A little camera shy.
A little camera shy. Well, it's our first go, so.
Yeah. Well, Zach, I actually want to say I haven't seen you in a bit, but your hair looks phenomenal.
Well, you know, Dave, I was really working on my hair for this segment because I had to make sure we look good.
What kind of who's your hairstylist?
Oh, a guy out of Toronto, but he's.
You just don't want to. You just don't want to tell me who he is.
Well, I can't tell you because then you might use him, and I need to have the better hair.
Yeah, that's true. Well, your hair looks great, and I'd be curious to know what type of product you're putting in there.
Well, I got a lot of product. We'll get into the products a little bit later.
Okay. So I think one topic that has caught a lot of people's attention over the past 2-3 weeks has been the stock price performance of Tilray. And it's raised a lot of questions about valuations in the marijuana space. It crossed the $20 billion threshold, so it was bigger than a lot of large cap US companies. It caught the ire of CNBC and CNN, and you know, it's certainly very topical over the past couple of weeks. Zach, do you have any? I'm actually going to pull up the Tilray chart.
Yeah,
right
why
now.
don't you pull up the chart? For Tilray, it's interesting because they're actually one of the first LPs in Canada, but they only went public very recently. And to list on a US exchange and then do so well, especially being backed by a private equity firm, was both scary and exciting to see. Because personally, I think I'd rather see this cannabis industry sort of go up and down, as opposed to just straight up, because I think that's a bit scary. But what we saw with Tilray really sort of woke up the industry, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it was the cause for a lot of excitement, but then also I think it also drew a lot of skepticism at the same time.
Exactly. And it was interesting. I think at one point Tilray was actually valued at bigger than TELUS Communications, one of Canada's biggest telecommunications companies, if not the biggest, I'm not exactly sure.
With sub $100 million in revenue.
Which is quite interesting.
Yeah.
It shows you how much excitement there is for the Canadian industry, especially being, you know, the first G7 or is it G8 country to legalize, and we're getting so close. So all of the eyes are really on it.
Yeah. It is exciting, but speaking of multi-billion-dollar companies, I think another exciting company, it's a private company actually, so we can't pull up the chart right now, but it's also being very topical, is that company JUUL.
Oh, JUUL.
Not to be mistaken for
JUUL.
JUUL, yeah.
JUUL, not to be mistaken for JUUL.
I picked these up just before the show.
Well, I had a conversation with someone recently about JUUL because...
Are you allowed to smoke? So for everyone's context, JUUL was valued at a $16 billion valuation recently. There's a lot of skepticism around the value because the company has a lot of regulatory concerns with respect to getting kids addicted to nicotine.
Well,
and
it's got a cool factor to it because
I feel cooler just holding this.
You know, when I was in high school, admittedly, I smoked cigarettes to be cool, but but you kind of stink. You know, they make your hands a little yellow.
Do you think it's going to set off the fire alarm in here?
I hope not. Maybe
that wouldn't be good. Although
maybe the show will.
The shower might feel great.
But it is interesting because nobody really knows the long-term health effects of it yet, but everybody likes it.
And you gotta think it's better for you than smoking a cigarette. I mean, I've heard, and this is by no means verified, but that there's only a couple of carcinogens inside of a JUUL, whereas a cigarette, you're smoking the tar, there's thousands of chemicals, and obviously those broad impacts or the implications to one's life expectancy are quite known. So I think...
Well, Dave, we all know your life expectancy is pretty low anyway, so...
Zach! Why do you say that?
Oh, gosh. But
it's interesting. $16 billion valuation.
Do you know how much money they raised?
$1 billion, I believe.
$1 billion.
Because I was thinking that we could maybe just jam that into a shell and take it public.
Whoever shell they use, and I would assume that they'd probably do a straight IPO, or if they're doing that well, you'd probably just keep it private. But
yeah, it's probably spinning
it'd
off
be
some
an
nice
exciting
cash flow.
business. I think a lot of the money came out of California. I'm fairly certain it's a U.S.-based company.
Yeah, I think it was founded there.
Yeah. But I love the JUUL. You know, I go out now and everybody's like, "Hey, who's got the JUUL? Where's the JUUL?" And now I'm becoming one of these people.
I think you're a jeweler, Zach.
I am a jeweler.
Well, it's fun.
I'm a jeweler.
What type of flavor do you have in your JUUL?
Personally, I like mango. I tried the creme brulee one and
The creme brulee.
The creme brulee.
That
I
nobody
almost vomited.
Really? Is it disgusting?
Well, I mean, some people might like it.
It kind of sounds like a nice. It kind of sounds like a nice dessert. Like, you know, after dinner, you throw in your creme brulee, and you know you can save the calories.
This is all very true.
Yeah, it is a bit of a certain flavor, though.
Let's. Why don't we pull up the ticker and the stock chart of a company that I've been following closely, and I think the whole market has huge. Let's look at FSD Pharma.
Huge. That's a great ticker, by the way.
You know, and there is something to be said for.
Do you think it's a
catchy ticker?
Do you think it's an acronym for something like high?
Well, I think it's an acronym for
glorious.
Something because I think it's meant to echo how big their facility is. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's a $3.4 million million square foot flagship asset.
Yeah, that's insane.
Just about an hour east of Toronto. And I actually got to do a little bit of the investor relations for them in the early days. And it was a very controversial stock because...
Are we looking at huge right now or no?
No, let's pull it up.
Is it on the CSE? CSE huge?
CSE huge is their biggest daily volume trader every single day, from what I can see.
Or is it CNSX huge?
Why don't you try C::, huge. But regardless, it's been absolutely incredible.
We're having some technical difficulties up here. But it's crossed the $1 billion threshold.
Crossed the $1 billion threshold. They did a deal with a company, Canera, I believe, out of Quebec, which is sort of meant to be the biggest facility there. But what's really interesting and what they've done, and we've sort of learned through the process, is they're bringing so many different businesses into that one massive facility that's the old craft facility, and they're basically going to be...
So it's like the WeWork of the weed growing
It's the WeWork of the weed space, which is a great idea.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
And I think people may have been apprehensive in the beginning because it had such a large share structure.
Got it.
It's unorthodox to see a company come out with 1.3 billion shares outstanding.
That sounds like an Australian share.
It sounds like an ASX deal. And you know what? That's exactly what they wanted, though. The main guy behind it, Anthony, or not the main guy, but one of the people behind it, had that idea for it. And he said, you know, we've seen it succeed in Australia for so many numbers of years. Why can't we do it in the Canadian markets? And he came out, he said that, he did it, and it was met with a bit of controversy when it initially listed back in June, I think it was.
Yeah.
But he's nailed it. Like, it's the biggest trader on the exchange.
Yeah, look at the performance.
But one of the key differentiators here is a lot of people always target institutional money. And when you target institutional money, if they're not active, you don't get much liquidity in your stock.
Yeah, and I think one of the issues in the marijuana industry has been, historically, there hasn't been a lot of institutional involvement. Just because of
it's all
size,
retail.
volume, exchanges. It's a very retail
It's exclusively retail driven. And I love that because you get a lot of liquidity, and it's
Zach,
very
you
topical.
are quite retail.
Well, I'm totally retail. But, and for that reason, I think it gets such a mass of people excited and actively trading the stock. And for an exchange like the CSE to see that much volume on a daily basis is...
No
pun intended, but it's huge.
It's huge, yeah.
It's
So
huge.
1.3 billion shares outstanding, fully diluted. I mean, are they trading tens of millions of shares a day? What's the sort of volume on that?
I think I'd have to look at exactly what it is. What do we got here? FSD. There
It looks
we
like it
go.
traded 10.6 million shares today. That's a lot of shares.
10.6. Usually it's a lot higher. I would call it par for the course for this company to trade upwards of 50 million shares per day.
Wow.
Which is quite exciting. And I do know that they raised over $50 million privately going public.
Yeah.
And not one institution was involved.
Got it.
It was all retail, which is pretty incredible to see, because I've personally worked on bought deals when I used to do the sort of corporate finance, investor relations work with Supreme.
But then I guess you have the lumpier base, right? So it doesn't help the volume, it doesn't help the price momentum.
Not necessarily.
Of a story like
I mean,
Huge.
even on bought deals, you still have depends on your president's list.
Yeah.
So you can still involve a lot of individuals.
Why do you never put me on the president's list?
Well, you're not very presidential.
Zach,
You're like a Veep.
is there a vice president's list?
You
Like,
can-
you get it at 20 cents instead of 10? I don't know. I would sign up for that.
I would too, actually.
There's no shame in being the vice president, Zach.
No, and one of the biggest things I find in stocks is liquidity. So you need that retail distribution list, especially in a new market, especially in something where you're trying to get wider distribution. And one thing I always remind people of is in small caps, like, people aren't looking for you. You really got to look for them.
Got it.
So you sort of got to make
what type
noise.
of strategies? What type of strategies would an issuer use to, like, you know, is it? I see sometimes you're in the elevator and you see an advertisement. Does that work? I mean, I personally don't see an advertisement in an elevator and they go and buy the stock. What works? What drives it?
I'm not sure exactly. There's a lot of formulas.
I guess
out
that's
there.
the secret sauce.
That's the secret sauce. And you know, some groups in this industry have nailed it, some haven't. But it's really important to understand your distribution and who you're going to use on the PR side, because you do need to get your story out there, and it's not just about your product, it's also about your stock, and you got to use them both in tandem to complement each other.
Sure.
I find.
Well, and I think both are important. You need a good story to raise capital, but you also need capital to help bring the story to fruition. So
That's exactly right.
It's a bit of a chicken and egg situation.
Yeah, oh, that. Who's the chicken, who's the egg?
I'd like to think that I'm the egg and you're the chicken.
So
Zach, so you gave the audience a bit of background. You've done some corporate finance work.
We haven't given them enough background on ourselves, though.
Yeah, but I wanted to give them a bit of background on you, because I know recently you've been offered potentially a position on the board of a new company, and you were just actually earlier you were telling me about the company's business.
Right.
And I actually thought the audience might be curious to learn more about it.
Well, it's interesting for me because I've been so cannabis focused since effectively the introduction of the MMPR, which was 2013, 2014.
Yeah.
But now there's a new company that sort of my old man's group is working on, and I work quite closely with him, called Nerds on Site, which is like the competitor to Geek Squad, I guess.
Okay.
Very similar.
Geek Squad, I've seen the cars before.
They have fantastic business models.
I am absolutely useless when it comes to computers and technology, so that's the type of service that I need.
I can barely use my phone. But
I was thinking about hiring an assistant to just help me with it.
Well, you could hire a nerd.
I could hire an
Anyway, they're going to be going public soon, and that's one that I'm going to go on the board of that I'm quite excited about. And basically what they're doing is they got their business model here in Canada, which they've had for 10 years, and now they're just taking it, raising that initial capital, and then scaling it by going to all the big US cities and deploying the model there.
Yeah.
And I think it's exciting.
It's
I've
an
never worked
exciting
on
model.
a tech deal. I've
Yeah.
sort of been exclusively cannabis, you know, a little bit of energy, a little bit of mining back in the day, but nobody seems...
It sounds like a great model.
Well, it's the best model, Dave.
Well,
I love good business models.
Zach, you are a business model type person.
Well, you know, Dave, I used to be a model myself.
Why don't you tell us a little bit more about that? I actually think you have, and I know I brought this up at the beginning of our segment here, but Zach, you have phenomenal hair. It looks great today.
And I think these guys have stolen our jobs.
You know what? I think I
Who
should
are they?
go to the UIC office. And
I'm just trying
Let's
to
get those guys out of here. They're stealing our jobs.
So, other big news.
Well, they're bigger than me. so
Very
you go ahead.
recently,
These guys have stolen our jobs, Ed.
$90 million bought deal.
Right, Supreme, my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, very close to me because I worked with
Let me
them so
pull up the
closely for
ticker.
so long. And
again, on the topic of good tickers, fire.
oh my God, okay, we're going to get back to good tickers, and I want to run through them because I think having a good ticker is a great marketing piece.
Yeah.
Because nobody forgets a good ticker.
Yeah.
And admittedly, I remember when we were SL for so long, and I loved the 2-letter ticker on the CSE, but when we did the switch
What did
over
SL
to
stand for? That's Supreme.
It was just one of the ones allotted to us, and it was easy to remember
Yeah.
at the beginning. I
A
mean,
2-digit
S for
ticker is
Supreme.
nice. It's clean. It's
L for
L.
I don't know. SL. It was nice. But then when we were picking tickers to go on to the new exchange, it was actually Nav, who's now the CEO of Supreme. Him and John just did a funny little switch, which I quite liked. John went from CEO to president, and Nav moved from president to CEO. Which was really interesting to see. I can't say that I've seen that in the space before, but those two guys are like two peas in a pod. They work together.
They're super bright, it's a great management team.
It's an exciting management team.
So the $90 million bought deal.
But hold on, we were still talking about the ticker, and what I was going to say is really, we're trying to figure out, like, you know, do we try and do something cannabis, so you can maybe do dope, or like canopy, you do weed.
That one's taken, I guess. But
you know, but maybe
they've got a good one though. Weed is a nice ticker.
Weed is a great ticker.
That's fantastic.
It's a great ticker. But we wanted to do something a bit more exciting that's also not necessarily cannabis focused.
Yes. Yeah.
I think that was the idea from Nav, and then he picked fire, and we just loved it. And it really resonates because people remember it. Nobody forgets
I
fire.
hear people using that in day to day. Oh, last night was fire, or you know, that pad thai was fire. It's almost a synonym for cool.
It's a synonym for almost excitement, or like
Yeah.
something that was successful.
It's just fire.
It's fire.
Yeah. So the $90 million bought deal.
90
huge
million
deal.
with green shoe up to 100, and I have every confidence that they'll do 100, and that's a solid number.
Yeah. I wish I was on the president's list for that. That seems like a nice deal.
Well, as I told you, Dave, you're on the Veep list, but maybe you can get on the president's list.
I can buy it and market.
Yeah, admittedly, I'm not sure either, but it's a huge deal for them. I mean, I remember...
And think about that. It's a lot of capital. I mean, they can use that to organically grow, acquire businesses.
Well, you
and
have
there's a lot of optionality now that they've
You
unveiled
have to
with that.
think that if they're raising that much institutional capital, clearly they're very close with BMO. It's co-led by BMO and GMP, and usually
Yeah.
Canaccord's done it in the past. So it means that they're getting further embedded with other banks. And if they're going to get that excited at this stage in the game, I would anticipate that we're going to see some big things coming from them
Yeah.
soon, especially with that amount of capital.
That's an exciting story, definitely.
And they're also now 7 acres, their main operating asset out of Kincardine in Northern Ontario. They're getting to quite a large amount of square footage that they're actually growing in. So they're actually going to be generating quite a bit of revenue.
Yes, yeah, and I think
So
they're
it's
going
not-
to come out of the gate probably a lot
Yeah.
better than some of the other issuers that have business plans that need to be funded, but they were one of the first movers, and I think that's going to, you know, certainly help them a lot as it relates to 2019 revenue, and I think that will help their performance as well.
And to see that much money is truly exciting.
Yeah, that is very exciting.
When I saw that news release come across my desk, I got a bit fired up, no pun intended.
Fire. Well, Zach, I think it's
we-
almost 4 o'clock, and it's Friday evening. I think we should maybe go grab a glass of wine somewhere.
I think that's a great idea, but let's talk about good stock tickers first, because I think there's a lot of value in it. Let's name a few of them.
Well, I've never been the creative type. Ones I know.
You're not creative. You're a numbers guy.
I mean, huge is good. Fire is good.
TGIF.
TGI, that's a great one.
Thank God it's Friday.
What about YOLO?
YOLO's coming soon, but we're not there yet. But I'm excited about that one too.
That's a great ticker. You only live once.
I think it's fitting.
All right, I think we should go YOLO down to the bar.
Well, let's go do that.
Okay, well, thanks everyone for tuning in. Lots of fun here, and we'll hopefully see you guys.
Hopefully,
all
we'll be
soon.
back next week with James West and the Midas Letter.
Cheers.
Here we are again, back.
I had a dream, Ed, that we had each lost 30 years. And
40.
it was like we were doing the show.
40 years.
40 years. Speak for yourself, young fella. And we were doing this segment, and we were talking about cannabis companies, and it's like we were young and way better looking than we are now.
When you were young and in my teens.
How about that, eh? That was the Zach and Dave segment, which is going to be a regular feature here in the future, a regular feature of the future. We don't know what day yet, we don't know what time, but I think they enjoyed themselves, and they're going to be back.
There used to be this song, you know, when I was young and in my teens, I met this girl in New Orleans. We had wine and whiskey too, and she let me play with her ring-dang-doo.
Whoa, Ed, hashtag me too. What the hell? This is a G-rated program.
No, I'm just saying it's a joke.
That didn't sound very... You better watch your P's and Q's, mister.
What?
Going to put you in the penalty box. Anyways, those guys did a good job, don't you think?
Yeah.
I can't believe that the whole audience stuck around and
they're still here waiting for us.
Still here, yeah. So that means that they're keepers.
Maybe they're going to tell us bon voyage, and
maybe they're going to take over.
The young boys.
Maybe they're going to be the. Maybe we're out of a job. Maybe we're going to have to move to late night.
Late night TV.
How would you feel about doing that? Late night
I'd love
TV.
It. I'd love
starting
it.
at 11:30.
Sleep all day, no traffic.
Do drugs before you go on the show. Drink, party.
Oh man, no more wagon for me.
No. Have you seen that show, Norm Macdonald's Got a Show?
John McMahon raves about this show.
Yeah.
You know what? I kind of like it.
Yeah, I like it too.
Boozy
I think he's
Susie.
I think he's trying to do what we're doing though.
No, I think, yeah. Well, is that right?
But imitation is the most sincere form of flattery, wouldn't
And
you
I think
say?
he's doing a pretty good job. Look at this.
Not bad. He's a lot more famous than
Namaste.
us.
Look at that. Flying up a nickel.
Flying up a nickel. Flying. Ed, do you know what time it is?
It's 3 minutes.
Is this your vodka?
No, that's my water.
Is this your gin?
That's the youngster's water.
Oh, okay, the youngster.
So this is fire water. This is real water because you know these guys.
Oh boy. Okay, we got to look
They've
at.
got stamina.
We got to look.
I don't have anymore.
We got to look at some charts, Ed.
Charts.
We got to look at some charts and look at the day and look at the week and.
Okay, well, I want to look at.
Let's head to this guy's comments.
What?
Says, I relate to these old guys more than those young turds. That's hilarious. Oh boy.
Really?
Yeah, they're not.
Send them $20.
Well, you know, I think. Send them $20. That's hilarious. These guys can be very hard on us. You know, the audience is.
Wait a minute, hard on us or hard on them?
Well, they're hard on them because they're new. So
Okay.
they're hard on us on occasion if we go, you know, off track or on the rail. But this guy, Josh May says, bring on the young guns. Bring back the young guns.
Bring back the young guns.
So see, the young people want to hear from the younger people. The older people want to hear from the older people. So what would it be like if we had all four of us on? We'd be a bunch of, like, what? We'd be arguing with each other. Because you and I being old, we think we know everything.
You know.
And them being young would secretly be pretending to be nice to us while thinking what a couple of old jerks we are.
Get rid of these old guys.
Is that accurate? No.
Get rid of them. Get rid of them. What are you guys smoking?
Hey, hilarious. Okay, so
Okay. Look at the Tilray.
Tilray.
143.
Everybody's. What's the company? What's the name of the company?
You know what? I got a call. They said, "Do you think we should change our name to Tilray?"
Really?
Tilray. I like it.
You want to pull up a Tilray chart? Here we go. Are you ready for this, Eddie?
Let's go right to the Tilray chart.
Tilray.
All right, put it up.
All right, here it is.
I want to see the chart. I want to see.
Look at that chart.
Show me a 1 month.
1 month?
Well, you already got it up there.
There we go.
No, put up the one they had before. I think I like that one better.
3 month?
That's not 1 month. That's 1 week.
This is 3 months.
So look at.
What?
You know, just this sticks out. This outside the band, 2 days here.
Yeah, that's the one that tripped.
And now, is it moving across to eventually break down again? I don't know. That's the big question. But it's certainly up 50% since Thursday morning last week.
Yeah. Do you think it's worth it? Would you buy it?
You know what? Obviously, when it got under 100, and it did it before in here, it got under 100 here, and then flew.
Yeah.
Got under 100 here, and it's flying, but not at such a fast clip.
Right.
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 So under 100, yeah, there's obviously big support, but You know, this thing is slowing down. This is not as crazy as
You're talking
it was.
about the sectors generally, but what
Well-
about today's day? Today was a green day. I'm going to pull up the.
Yeah, but it's a green day. But is it a nuts day? I don't think it's a nuts day.
A nuts day? What do you mean a nuts day?
Testicle day.
Oh, Jesus, Ed.
What? What?
G-rated. Don't forget G-rated
Okay.
here. Okay, we're going to pull up our favorite.
What do they say about
index.
California?
Land market's closed.
Land of fruit and nuts.
Land of fruits and honeys.
Look at this CanTrust up $1.06. Wow, flying.
Not bad. So looking at
Most of the day is green.
look
Most
at
of the day
the
is
okay.
green.
Let's pull up all 4 indexes here.
Pull up the fork.
All 4 indexes up on the NDI, please. What's wrong with these fuckers in there?
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Look, Green Day, all up.
1%,
Large cap,
3%.
up 3.16%. How is that not back to game on mode? That's game on right there. 0.84% on the Midas Letter Small Cap Cannabis Composite Index, which is all companies trading between 100 million and 500 million. The Midas Letter Venture Index is up 2.69%.
You know what I want to see, and to your point, I want to see in a week from now,
Yeah.
is this thing rolling over? Which you could argue, but today was a very big green day.
Yeah.
I want to see, you know, every
Oh,
day-
control room camera.
Oh, in other words,
Whoa, what are they pointing? What the hell's going on in there?
yeah,
I think they've lost their shit in there.
yeah. You know, either that or they're vying for a new position here on the set.
That's right. They're tired of being in the control room. They're going to
they're
move the
saying-
show into there.
Yeah, yeah.
What kind
They're
of
gonna
day
put-
is this?
How about we go in there?
The youngins trying
Let's
to kick
go in
us out of
there.
our job. They
Yeah.
kick their asses?
What's going on?
Let's just start busting heads, Milewski. It's Friday after all.
Boy, I'm telling you, I'm glad I'm off the wagon.
Yeah, I'm glad you're off the wagon too.
Building up ahead of Thursday.
I think I might have to go back on the wagon tonight for a short while because
Uh-oh.
or
Look at this Hexo up
Hair of
58
dog.
cents.
Hair of
You
dog.
owned that, didn't you? Once at around $4, didn't like it?
Nah, didn't like it. No, I did own it. They came out with the announcement that
I
Molson
know.
Coors is going to make the investment.
And you found a way to make that into a bad.
What? It was a bad deal. They didn't get any money. They got a free carry on fucking 11 million shares. I mean, what kind of deal was that? Don't get me started again here, Ed. Like, really,
Soft.
seriously. I mean, I'm kind of
Soft.
Look at our Juju traded up $0.015 today. Did you still owning the Juju? No?
No, you know, look at it. I had a nice pass on Juju,
going to-
and thanks to Donnie.
Donnie Mac Daddy market making. Look at MedMen's taking it up the poop chute today.
Med.
Blip, 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 blip.
Yeah.
MPX up a dime. You know, we used to buy dime bags of weed. Did you ever buy a dime bag of weed? How much was it?
$10.
That's good, eh?
Hey.
Why was it called a dime bag? Oh, it's 10 bags.
A
Yeah.
couple of nickels.
Yeah.
Dime bag.
Looking at Martello Technologies.
Yeah.
That's Bruce Linton's other deal.
Yeah,
Up-
flying.
Up 7, flying. It's up 7 pennies. How is that flying?
Well, that's 9%.
Oh, that's a good point. I guess that
10%.
technically is flying.
10%.
Namaste, coming down the track here. What do you think?
You know, that thing is volatile. I think, you know, so you'll be able to, you know, if you own it, I think you'll be able to sell it next week somewhere around 3 to 3.25.
Whoa.
Because it's come off the $4 level hard.
Look at, here we are on the large cap page, Ed.
Let's see.
And guess who the biggest winner among the large caps
I'm going
are?
to say CannTrust.
Wow! You are good. You must be a technical analyst.
Hexo's right there.
Hexo's
Only
up there,
one
too.
loser here, MedMen. Now, what about...
Man, we forgot to call our buddies Jason Spatafore and what's his name?
what do you know about this
Chris
deal
Berry.
called Flower?
Nothing.
Do you know that's a new one, eh?
Yep.
And they raised a big whack of money, already capped at 600, 700 million. But you just soft.
Former
soft,
MedRelief guys.
soft. The float's very, very small. There's some shares in escrow. Looks like this has got the same recipe for success that maybe Tilray had.
You got that right.
I got it right.
You got that
I
right.
got that right.
You got
so,
that
So, you know,
right.
is that so let's watch Flower.
Okay.
There's not a lot of stock.
What's
It's
the symbol?
F, wait a minute.
Control room, control room. This is the front room. This is the front room.
FLWR.
FLWR. Please add FLWR to the stock ticker, please.
I think it's capped at around 700 million. And all I'm saying is
what?
Talking to them about getting their interview.
Who?
Flower.
Oh, okay. That's nice, Suzanne.
Hey,
Camera on Suzanne. Camera on the control room, Suzanne. Control room,
put up
Suzanne.
the chart. It's only traded for a couple of days. We're not going to get a lot of information.
What chart? What
Flower.
chart? Flower? There's not going to be a chart. It's 2 days old.
Punch it up.
What's the symbol again?
FLWR.
FLWR.
Flower without the vowels.
The Flower Corporation. Whoa!
Look at this, baby.
Went from $4 to $8 in a single day.
But the funding was done at 250. So here's another example.
Who's the banker on the deal?
Look at.
Well, you're
Why
going to
are you asking
analyze a
such a-
3-day chart?
No. Here's what I'm going to point out. Here's a company that supposedly has 80 million shares outstanding.
Yeah.
80 million.
Yeah.
That's not exactly a lot of trading for the first day out, 1.5 million shares, which tells me this thing is tighter than a
Mouse's ass.
Jesus.
You didn't like that expression?
I thought you were going to say something else.
tight as a what?
Ooh,
Let's think. Come on, Edward. You're the wordsmith here. Tight as what? I want a nice, clean metaphor. Tight as.
Tight as.
Tight as no
help here.
No.
How about
no suggestions from
Well,
the.
they say when you drink, when you got a real buzz on you, you're tight.
Well, that's a Hemingway era.
Yeah. So
expression.
let's say you're as tight as Hemingway.
Tight as Hemingway.
Yeah, especially when the bill comes.
Hemingway was a cheap prick. Alligator arms. No.
When I stand up, I can't reach the table to pick up the bill.
All hat, no cattle.
Lots of no hats, all cat.
Jesus.
Lots of all hats, lots of no cattle.
Okay, but what about?
You know what? I'm telling the viewers here to watch that because they may have a plan there.
What about next week? We had most of this week was pretty much blood in the streets week, right?
Blood in the streets, but
Look at the 5-day chart.
But you know what?
So we lost a total of almost 1,000 points off the index.
Yeah, but I think the Tilray, what it does is it knocked the wind out of the sails. Don't we all feel a little less, like we were saying, wow, this is crazy, this is crazy. We're not saying that anymore. Although we did say it with Alethea.
Alethea was insane. I think there's still going to be these pockets of
I do too.
Unbridled enthusiasm that don't make a lot of sense relative to the value.
The flower might be one.
But the thing is, people are responding to promotes on cannabis now because so many promotes have worked and so many guys have made money. The thing is now, anybody hears about a new deal, they're like, who's promoting that thing? What's going on behind the scenes? How much can I get in for? And how fast can I sell?
What about the AUSA? Let's take a look at that one.
You want to take a look at the AUSA?
Look at the flower, $7, no change. Wow.
AUSA. All right, here we go.
AUSA.
This one's not going to have much of a chart either.
No, but at least we'll get.
What? What do we get?
What
An idea?
do we get?
Get a clue? Get a grip? 231.
Yeah, that was up to That was just up to 250 something. That's not a bad looking candle for a reversal, by the way.
What, the bottom one?
The last one, yeah, the green one. You see, there's a big wick, big tail.
Big what?
A bit of a doji.
Big what?
Bit of a doji.
Dodgy. It's pronounced dodgy now.
Dodgy.
Remember, I changed the name yesterday.
That's true. Good.
So doji, I guess, was a reference to the Japanese house thing where the soldiers used to wait to cut
they were
throats.
undecided about whether or not they were going to go to war. Hence the doji.
I don't get the connection there, Ed.
Well, if you're undecided, you don't get much going on.
No, then aren't you looking dodgy, just standing around, looking, waiting? So you liking this market for next week or not? Come on.
I think, you know what? I think we're gonna keep bouncing around here. We got pockets of liquidity in certain areas.
Yeah.
What about I like your comment. You know what? Copper had a big move this week because of significantly depleted inventories in the world. But the world is looking down the road saying they don't see serious growth. So they're saying, you know, Dr. Copper, we're not sure. But inventories are dropping. If the growth continues in places like India and China, then you're going to see copper prices escalate again.
What if the growth stops?
Well, I want you to do this one thing for me.
Okay, what's that?
When you get a new job, get 2. One for me as well.
I'm not sure you're going to want the kind of job that I get.
I know I won't, but, you know.
What if we end up digging ditches? Well, at least we'll be cracking jokes to one another all day. That'll be okay.
Dishes.
What do you mean? Why not? I like to dig
Washing dishes.
Washing dishes.
Not digging dishes.
Digging ditches, I'd much rather do than wash dishes.
I'd rather wash dishes.
You'd rather wash dishes?
Sure, especially if you get nice gloves.
See, we'd make a good couple, roommates. You could wash the dishes and I'd dig the ditches. That's a little too cutesy, don't you think, Ed?
Namaste,
Namaste, bitch! Come on, Eddie, say it, say it.
Namaste, bitch.
You look like you don't say that often.
I've said it 3 times in my life. Happens to be around 4 o'clock every day.
Well, you know, I'm gonna get some more shirts of that.
Yeah. I
variety.
want to get some shirts too.
Yeah. What kind of shirt?
This is a shirt.
Yeah, I see that.
It's a nice one.
You ever take your shirt off and like beat your chest?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only in the mornings.
like not walking down Bay Street on your way to work.
Tarzan.
I'm Ed Milewski, and I'm gonna take over the street today. No way. Anyways, I think we're losing our marbles, Ed. You know why? It's the end of the week. You know why it's the end of the week? Because it's Friday.
Jesus.
I know.
Look at this royal nickel. I'd be punting that if I had it.
Really?
I'm just saying it because
you're going to take a paltry, what, 12, 15 cents off the table? It's not even enough for a nice dinner in this town.
I know,
it's
hard to.
You
know what? I'll tell you something. You know, we shouldn't be too flip here when discussing some of these deals, because if we have this continued pockets of liquidity.
Flip?
Flip Wilson.
I mean, who's being flip about these stocks?
Like for instance, I was
you
just
mean
looking
like
at.
smug?
No, but I don't want to sound like I know exactly what's going to happen.
Don't worry.
But we
you don't
talk
sound
about
like you know anything.
Viewers, when we talk about these names, we're opening the window a bit. The window of opportunity's slightly ajar.
Ooh, sounds like you're. When is a door
I think
ajar?
I think the AUSA looks. I'm just thinking.
What?
With that window, with that candle today, I wouldn't be surprised if that AUSA prints at $4 sometime next week.
Really?
Make that. There's a comment for you. There's a prediction.
That's what I would call an actionable idea.
Yeah, it's actionable, all right.
So if what happens if it goes down to $1.10?
You're going to the Puros.
Well, maybe you will be, because people's going to be upset that you told them to buy it because it's going to $4. But you didn't tell them to buy it, did you?
I didn't tell them to buy it.
You said, I think it could go to $4. Good point. So let's just update y'all on our disclosure here, because we haven't actually done that today. That we want to disclose that all the companies we talk about, all the trash talking we're doing, all the positive talking we're doing, we either own these stocks or we have them as clients in one of our multitudes of companies, and we are basically not to be trusted.
And we're
whatsoever.
Well, that's good to know.
Especially him. No,
we're bringing a high beta stocks that you typically would find on the most active list.
What about no beta stocks?
No beta? What?
No beta, no alpha. Go home.
Okay, alpha, beta. What's the next letter in the Greek alphabet? Alpha, beta.
Charlie.
Yep. I think it's kappa, or is it gamma? Alpha, beta, gamma. Delta. Delta is the fourth one, I know that.
Delta's the D.
And the epsilon is the fifth one.
Yes.
And then gamma.
What's the C?
Kappa.
Kappa with a C? I thought
well,
Kappa was
you know
with
what?
a K.
They didn't know back then if it was going to be a C or a K. They were still confused.
So you mean it appears twice in the Greek alphabet?
Well, they
once at the C position, once at the K position.
Yeah.
So what's Kappa pronounced backwards?
Epic.
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 Huh. What's wine pronounced backwards?
What?
Say that again. That's just.
What? Try and stop me.
I didn't catch that. Wine backwards. One more time. You sound like you've had a lobotomy or something there, Ed. So you fell off the wagon last night.
Yeah, a little bit.
Did you step off gladly, or were you pushed?
No, it was. You know what? That first time back is a sort of a love-hate relationship with the bottle.
Yeah, yeah. We had our neighbor over last night.
And is he still sleeping in your backyard somewhere?
No, he lives close enough. He just has to walk through our door and through his door. But
did he open them before he walked through?
He did.
Yeah.
Fortunately, his other friend, on the other hand, he actually was the guy who pulled off our door handle once, falling out the door. That's another story.
That's another story.
But yeah.
All together now.
All right, so let's look at who are the biggest winners and losers on the CSE.
Can I ask a favor here? Let's go back to that most active list on the exchange, because I think we're going to get some ideas there on a regular basis, and I think we should pick one out and say, let's watch this for.
That's the idea of the day plan, is it?
Yeah.
Well, okay, let's go here too. Most active. No, market movers. Duh. What is my problem? TSX Venture market mover of the day was Namaste, 12.7 million shares traded.
Okay, that's the most active. But can you do the percentage changes? I want to see.
Oh, you want to see?
Wow, RYU Apparel up 29%. You know that one?
Actually, you can't get the volume change here for some reason.
Okay.
It's not working. So yeah. That's because it's the most active, so it's ordered in order of the most active. If you did most active by dollar gainer.
Okay, let's go. Let's go. You know.
Whoa! Look at that's a nice screen, eh? Green.
Let's go with percentage change.
You want to go with percentage change?
Yeah.
Percentage gainers or decliners?
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. Which gainers or decliners?
Percentage gainers.
Gainers. So the top percentage gainer was Riley Resources.
There you go. Look at this.
What do they do?
Look at the volume of 11,000 shares, and they moved it from.
Wow.
They moved it up 19 cents to 34. So from 15 to 34.
Wow.
There can't be a lot of paper on that one.
Well, maybe they're moving it up on purpose.
Okay, so look at there's one there, Goldstream. You know what? Look at this page. There's always something here. Always something.
Let's look at the percent losers, because that's a red page. There you go.
Yeah, but you want to see where the big volume is.
Yeah, I like to stay focused on the
marijuana.
Well, on the the cannabis sector, because who cares about anything else right now? Really, do you care about anything else?
I care about like. Let's look at this. Let's look at
the venture index.
RYU.
Why would we look at that?
That's the big clothing. They're trying to Lululemon, and it's up 3 cents today to 15 on over 1 million shares. So it's got some action.
Yeah.
Maybe we can identify a pattern.
Look at weapons of mass destruction here. WeedMD. Weed of mass. Blockstrain Technology Corp. Product responsive to concerns about cannabis lab testing quality. Ooh, somebody was bad-mouthing them, were they? Anyways, we're going to have our own testing technology here. Did you know that, Ed?
How do we going to do the oral test?
Yeah, well, we're going to have the Fluorotech cannabis testing kit here, and we're going to test all of the products that LPs have on the shelves post October 18th. In other words, when it's legal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's coming fast.
Yeah.
You know,
it's 2 weeks away.
I'm telling you right now, the next time you see me on this set, I got a funny feeling it's going to be October.
What? You going on vacation or something?
We'll see.
Is it maybe because Monday's the 1st of October and today's Friday?
Come on.
I think that's the case. You know what, Ed? What do you do when you're in a situation like this? You're on a show, but you really got to go have a leak.
You know what you got to do? You got to get the camera just to focus on the waist up.
Yeah. Get a bottle.
Get a bottle. Get under here like this, and just pretend like you're.
That's just creepy, Ed. I'm not doing that.
That's creepy.
Yeah.
I'm giving you a solution to your.
That's no solution.
To your urge. You to have this urgent need to go.
I do, but I think I can hold it for another 11 minutes.
But I want to see both hands on the table.
It's Suzanne, can I get a glass over here, please?
Can I get some rubber socks, please?
That's disgusting.
Rubber socks over here.
Rubber socks and liquor? Would you like some rubber socks and liquor over here? What kind of liquor is your favorite, Ed? Are we straying out of bounds here a little now? Is it getting a little too dicey? You know what I want to do? I want to go say hello to our audience over here on.
Remember the line in the movie with Shawshank Redemption?
Which movie?
Shawshank
Redemption.
Sir Greco in here.
Shawshank.
Remember Shawshank Redemption with
Shawshank Redemption.
you know, the prison movie?
Tom Hanks?
No, not Tom Hanks. Clint Eastwood.
Clint Eastwood? No, he wasn't in Shawshank.
Tim Robbins. That's
Tim
it.
Robbins?
Tim Robbins.
Oh yeah.
And at the end, when the guy was giving him grief because he says, "Listen, there's somebody here that says I'm innocent," and he said to the warden, "You're being obtuse. You're calling me obtuse," and you know. It was a great movie. You have to.
It was a great movie.
It was one of the best.
It was one of the best. I think I watched it probably.
Why are you
3
being
times.
so obtuse? The warden didn't like that.
No.
You calling me obtuse?
The warden was a bastard.
Warden, you know what?
He was a real prick, wasn't he?
It just goes to show you get a position in power. You get
Yeah.
a guy in power, and it changes everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd like to think that you and I wouldn't change too much. I mean, I've noticed.
If we were in prison?
Like, no, for instance, like, you know, you know.
Jeez, banish the thought, Ed.
You're walking around with a bullwhip.
You ever done any time in the Slammer?
No. No, I have not.
Not even a single night?
Not one night.
Not one night.
Not one
You've
night.
never been tossed in jail?
Not once.
Really?
My dad actually said, "Son, you did 2 things." He said, "You left home early, so it took me off the hook."
Huh.
And the other thing was you stayed out of jail.
Ah.
That was the
I used
2
to get
things.
tossed in the clinker all
I
the time
bet
by
you-
the cops.
For what?
Well, because we'd be high as fucking breaking shit and fighting and carrying on around the bars and
Were
everything.
you a fighter?
Not anymore. Now I'm a lover.
Were you a fighter back then?
I don't really think I would qualify myself as a fighter. No.
Yeah.
No, I'm kind of.
Like a fighter jet?
No. I tend to avoid confrontation.
So do I.
Unless it's with somebody who's knocking on my door at like 6 in the morning to sell me on some religious bullshit or
6
something
in the
like
morning.
that. Well, whatever. You know, anybody knocks on my door any time
6
of the
in
day.
the
or
morning.
night. 6 in the morning, 6 at night, which is worse. What's the thing? It's the
6
same
at
thing.
night
If your
is
guy
better
goes
than-
to bed at 3
Yeah.
and gets up at noon,
Good point.
6 in the morning is going to piss you off. But if your guy gets to bed at 3 in the afternoon because you're working the early shift, you're just not buying any of this, are you, Ed?
What are you talking about?
I don't know. What am I
Nobody
talking
knocks
about?
on your door at 6 in the morning. Well, that's not true.
Religious maniacs. You got any in your neighborhood?
No.
No?
They're all downtown
you're lucky.
Toronto. They're all downtown Toronto.
They're all in my neighborhood,
They all
banging
got-
on the
they
doors
got-
at 6 a.m.
They got posters. They got.
You know, you never hear of Muslim people banging on your door trying to talk you into some new
No,
religious
you know why?
belief. Why?
Because they hope you don't get converted because they want you to go to hell. No, really, they do.
What?
Yeah.
Nah, come on. Every religion is recruiting.
You know what Ricky Gervais said?
What would Ricky say?
Ricky Gervais. They're talking about, do you believe in
Do you believe in magic?
in a supreme being, right?
A supreme
And
being.
so you have, let's say you have a born again Christian.
Born-again?
Born again.
Born-again. With a K
Born
at
in
the end
America.
there. Born-again
American born again.
Christian. Ed, you know why you never do? No, I should go
Okay,
there.
so let me just say, this is what he said. He said, okay, so he says to this guy, let's say it's maybe Billy Graham, right?
Billy Graham, the religious guy.
The big Christian, you know. And
Didn't he
he's
pass away recently?
Probably.
So where do you think he is right now? Heaven or
nowhere?
hell?
Nowhere. He's back into the big energy pool. That's where he is.
Back in the big energy. Is that what
Yeah.
you believe?
Yeah.
So when you die, you get dissipated into the big energy pool.
That's correct. Yeah.
And there is no hell, there's no heaven, there's
And it
no
gets
paradise.
rearranged, and out pops like a
boom, on the other side of the galaxy.
a hedgehog or something. And,
A hedgehog.
And then you got there's Ed's little finger over there and his little ass hedge.
You know, I believe that's true because have you ever noticed how most people, if you look at their faces long enough, you can sort of see some animal?
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, clearly you're...
Or if you smoke a lot of pot, you may start to look like a plant, right?
Right.
Just saying.
No.
So let me just finish this, okay? So
Finish what?
So Ricky Gervais says to
Oh,
Billy
that
Graham,
story.
he says, you know, you and I, our views are somewhat alike. There's 4,000 religions. You don't believe in 3,999 because obviously he believes in his. And Ricky says, I don't believe in those either. In fact, there's one more I don't believe in. Yours. So we're kind of alike. You don't believe in 3,999. I don't believe in 4,000.
Huh.
So think about that.
I am.
I thought that was pretty brilliant.
That's not bad, but wouldn't that imply that you don't believe in anything?
No, I believe in the energy pool.
The energy pool. Good point. Matter, antimatter.
I don't think it matters.
Matter, antimatter, energy, dark energy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Complex universe, they say. What about string theory?
Think about. No.
See, whenever you say to somebody, talk about string theory, that
shuts
sends them
up.
for
That shuts them right up.
shut right up.
Okay, I'm going to start thinking about it, and when I'm done thinking about it, then we'll talk.
Do you ever been to the Large Hadron Collider
Yeah,
in
I
Switzerland?
collided into one.
Have you ever been for a ride around on it?
Can you imagine?
How fast does that thing go? They go, well, it's the speed of light, right?
No. They can't replicate the speed of light. Nobody can.
But that's what the Large Hadron Collider does, is it accelerates particles to just under the speed of light.
Fine, but not the speed of light.
Well, so what happens to a particle?
I don't know. All I know is they say the speed of light can't be.
You know what the Higgs boson is?
A particle.
I'm pretty sure nobody does, and it's made up by a bunch of scientists sitting around at the Hadron Collider playing video games.
Is that one word or two?
Video games? Video games is 2 words. Large Hadron Collider.
Look at ACB going across here at 73. Yesterday it looked like shit. Today it looks like it's
rock and roll. That's what I'm saying.
Palatable.
It's game back on.
You know what? It looked like shit yesterday. And again, when it looks like shit, get in there.
Load up.
Load
up. Boy, we got no rhythm. We got no tone. We should just not sing.
Yeah.
Actually, one of our guests said we should not sing. Dave.
Unless you go to Sing Sing.
Our old friend Dave at there says that we need a lava lamp. You want to?
I need a wig.
I think you need a wig. Why don't you just get your head shined?
Buff it up. Little buffer.
Remember that Bugs Bunny episode?
How can I know the Barbara Seville music without,
Wow. Somebody's given us
2 thumbs up.
No, Nika Domi says, and let's get some beneficial law of attraction energies going here and make this money so we can meditate somewhere on the beach soon.
I like it. Look at this.
That's I'm trying to think is that a subtle okay, so James, somebody's trying to get my buy CHE. Boy, Anshul Meta. Buy CHB. Canada House Wellness. No thanks. We just the live studio audience just sold it. And you got 2 minutes to hold it together.
So do you want to hear my joke?
Is it 2 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
and I don't have to do anything else.
So
that's it. Nope. Dead air. Can't have dead air.
Patrick Murphy's sitting in an Irish pub.
Who's Patrick Murphy?
Patrick Murphy. He's a big imbiber. Loves the drink.
Yeah.
And he's always at this bar.
What's he drinking?
He's drinking Jameson's.
Jameson's?
Yeah.
Low budget guy then.
So anybody he yells out, anybody wants a free drink. Yeah. And there's this nice looking lady, she's very fit, she looks very athletic. Up goes her hand, she's got a sleeveless top on, so she's got this bare arm and this big hairy armpit. And up goes her hand and says, I'd like a drink. And he says, buy the ballerina a drink. Bartender goes over and buys her a drink. So this goes on, second time. Who wants a drink? Up goes her arm, big hairy armpit. Buy the ballerina a drink. Finally the bartender says, why are you calling her a ballerina? Anybody who can lift her leg that high, it's got to be a ballerina.
Oh my God, Ed. We're stooping to new lows here. Who writes your material? I want to know. I want to know.
You're just like, you can't stop now. All right.
You got to be a little older to get that one, guys.
Well, thank you for watching our show this week. Clearly, Ed has lost his marbles, and thank you to all of the people who have contributed to our show and make it great this week. Dave and Zach, the Follow the Money guys, Carl and Brandon. Who else did we have on the show? Ed, the special head, of course. Everybody in the control room,
for that one.
and especially you, our wonderful audience. Please don't forget to give us a like or one of the subscribes or, you know, one of those damn things. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.